See, listen here. First thing, the question is about, suppose that there is any question na, so first of all you have to recognize a keyword in any question. Suppose that you read any question for the first time, what you have to keep in your mind is that keyword. So what was the keyword in that question? GST. Right. Now second thing, what you have to think that how can I write the intro of that? Right. So see, there are various ways to write the intro. I have told you. Like, see, the first one is what? Definition based. Like, if there is any keyword like GST, or you can say employment, or poverty. So since these are the keyword, so just define the keyword. These are simple meanings. Just define them. Second,
History background.
suppose that there is a questions on, like, suppose that non-cooperation movement. You have heard his name. What is it?
2020.
1920. Non-cooperation movement, right? So suppose that there is a question on non-cooperation movement. So you just write the background, like, this movement was launched for what? Why it was launched. So generally these methods apply where? In history question. Third one is contextual information. Contextual means, I told you yesterday. Tell me.
List positives. We have to support it.
No, that is other thing. Contextual means, suppose that
Example I will. Now free trading and protesting is going in.
Yeah, the current affair base. So suppose that there is a question on election, like recent,
One nation.
like recent election has happened in India. So you can write that as per the recent election which has happened in Delhi, this has happened like that. So you can write like that. So
Contextual means now the stampeds are running there.
yeah, context means ki, on the basis of which context this question has been asked. So you have to write that only. Fourth is structure. Structure means, do you know what? Like, see, suppose that there is a question on president. So you can write that president is the head of the state in India, right? And he is the first citizen of India. It means we are write the structure of the president. So this is called structural.
We have to write article also.
Article is a constitutional article. That is other. Structure means ki you are writing the place of that particular persons or particular thing. Yes. Suppose that there is a question on GST Council. Have you heard this name? What is that?
On recommendations of council, we are going forward on reforms in GST.
Yeah. So see, you can write that the GST Council is mentioned in which article. So you are writing the place of that things. So this is called structural place, right? And the last one is constitutional article. Do you know what is constitutional article?
Which are incorporated
Yeah.
in
Suppose that the question are like right to education. Right to education. And now tell me, it is mentioned in which article?
14.
Right to education.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you have not read. Article 21.
21.
Yeah, right to education. So it means, see, so these are the 5 broad areas of writing the intro. I will tell you more later on, but right now you remember these 5. Okay, so definition, historical background. Just you write one question daily, just one question daily. Slowly, gradually, you will become expert in answer writing one day, and you will be able to clear your attempt in first attempt only with a good rank. Right? You want to become an IAS? Yeah. So you can in first attempt only. You can. There are many people who have done in their first attempt? Tell me the example.
Srishti Deshmukh.
There's Sati Deshmukh and Tina Dhawi. Like there are many persons who have done their first attempt. So you can also do that. But you need some guidance because see, question will not tell that. They will just cover your syllabus.
Concepts.
Yes. So please mind that. So see, I was telling you कि suppose that if there is any questions, right? So first you have to find out the keyword, right? So after finding out the keyword, the next thing is how to write the intro.
We have to mind in what
In-
is
in-
that.
yeah,
Is
in our
it
mind.
contextual?
Yeah, it is historical
Structural.
background or it is structural या question article or definition based. You have to think in yourself, then and you have to write the intro. And one thing more, intro should be generally 3 to 4 lines in 10 markers question, and 4 to 5 lines in 15 markers because there are two types of questions. So in 10 markers 3 to 4 lines and 15 markers 4 to 5 lines. Please remember that. Okay, just a moment. 3 to 4 lines in 10 markers and 4 to 5 lines 15 markers. Okay, so see, so here you have written 1 2 3 4 5 lines. Okay, so you can make it short little bit. This is, see, after just writing the intro, you have to leave one line space here like this is intro finished, then here your heading should be there in just middle,
Presentation.
in just middle, and with a bold line box, like see there is a feature, so like that, features. Yes. Now see, there are many ways to write the body part. Like you have written in point format. There are like a point format, paragraph format, or subheadings, or flowcharts. So see, there are certain criteria when to write point, when to write paragraph, when to write subheading, when to write flowchart. I will tell you slowly gradually, and then when you will start the answer writing. But now I will tell you in short. See, generally the 10 marker question generally you write in point format. But when you write the optional paper, then you have to write the paragraph. Please remember that. See what I'm writing. GS answer generally point format, and right? Then subheading you like that. See, you have written here. It has
Uniform taxation across.
So you can make a heading uniform tax. Then you write it has uniform taxation. Second subheading. Do you know what? Examiner will check your this answer, not what you written inside. So it will be easier for the examiner to check your answer, and the more easier it will be, the more marks he will give you. So always make your answer easy for the examiner. Always you try to make your answer very easy, very understandable for the examiner, so that he should not get irritated. Otherwise he start cutting the marks. So please mind that. So see, so this is called subheading. So like you have not met the subheading, so you will get less marks actually. So whenever you write, you have to write the same points, but you have to follow the approach of subheadings. Then flowchart. Do you know what is flowchart?
Symbolic representation.
Yeah, good. Like say like that. Yeah, like that. There are many ways. Like suppose that you have to write like features. So you can like that. This is one. Second one, like you can write advantage. So like that, one advantage, two advantage, three advantage. Then suppose that there are 4 points, so you can write like that, 1 2 3 4. There are more points, so you can write like that, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it will look easier and attractive for the
Example.
examiner. So please follow this approach in the meantime. So this is called the flow chart. And if there is a question of geography, then if there is a question on
Contextual.
geography, then you have to write definitely what?
What?
Map.
Map.
You have to definitely write the map, and you have to learn how to make the map of India just in 10 seconds. Can you draw the map?
Mm-hmm.
Can you draw the map of India right now?
Yeah.
You can? Okay, you can. Wow. नहीं, good, very good. Very good. मतलब to see, examiner will see the beauty of the diagram. They will see that you have made or not. So yeah, means you have done good. Yes, it should look like India, not look like Australia.
Okay.
Just to keep these things in mind. but really this is excellent. Okay, so see, so in geography question, please mind that when you write any questions like industry, any questions, just make the diagram and please tell that this industry is here, this industry is here, like that. So see, these are called flow charts. So see, there are many ways to write the body part. I'm saying like point, paragraph, subheadings, flow chart, and everything. Now see, in body part, there are various ways. Content. So this content first includes examples. Whatever you are writing, when until unless you do not complete your sentence with examples, then
Example.
example will not examiner will not get satisfied.
Tell me the example.
Like see, suppose that you have written that means South Indian states. South Indian states are generally more technologically advanced than North Indian states. You have written in point. Then you have to write the example like Bangalore. This way, it means whatever you are writing, just write the examples. Yeah. So suppose that you can write that like that. Any other example like you can write this example like yeah, the state which has a higher population is generally poor. Generally poor. Example Bihar. So means I'm just giving the examples. Means whatever you're writing, if you give the example a particular point, then examiner will get satisfied that yes, you're in the right track. So this way. So always mind that you have to add the example. Second thing, data. What is data? Data or facts, both are the same thing. See, like see, suppose that you have written that see, the same example, like Bihar has a highest population in India, that's why it is poor. Now you can write the example like according to 2011 census, right? Bihar has highest population density. See, so it generates less employment because population density is high and resources are less. Unemployment is high, so people are more poor. So like that means data you have to get. Like there are various resources of data like ministry and organization, Niti Aayog. There are many bodies for the data. So you have to write the data as far as possible. Right? Second thing on ministry, where are written I think. Yes. Yeah, see. See, then see, the third thing is argument. Do you know what is argument? What is?
No.
Suppose that you have written that India is technologically poor as compared to China. So you have to write that yes, where is China?
Yeah, if you support it, yes, we have to.
Then justification, yes. Then you have to give the justification, because see, you are writing without justification. It means you are just writing whatever comes in mind. But if you give the justification, na, examiner will understand that yes, this person knows and this person deserve what.
For selection.
Yeah, this person deserve for selection, and otherwise, you know what they will think. They will think that this person is not up to the mark, and let them again write the prelims, and they will send you the back. So please mind that. So this is called content and presentation. I've already told you: flowcharts, diagrams, maps, right, and everything. So see, this is, so your body part is very general actually right now, very general, right? So you have to keep these things in your mind, right?
You will give another one, I will.
Yeah, I will give you daily. You see, one question you will have daily na. Studying gradually, you will understand. You will understand many things. See, many people understand this thing at the last, but you will understand this thing in the beginning only na. So you will keep on improving yourself, and in your first attempt you will be able to. Because many people who clear the prelims, they are not able to clear the mains. 4 to 5 times they just stuck in the mains. So please mind that. So if you follow these things from the beginning only, you always write one answer. And see, if I do not come here, you can send me. I will check your answer. But I like that, and I will send you back how to, right? So see, like that. Then see, you have good points, but you have to focus on your presentation part, content part, like examples, data, flowcharts, subheadings, all these things. Then there is the last what?
Conclusion.
Conclusion is very poor.
Yeah.
Yes. So see, I told you that this. Okay, what can you write in conclusion? First,
Suggestion.
suggestive. It should be suggestive. Like, suppose that. Give me an examples of suggestion.
Eradication of poverty by improving literacy rate.
It means you can add that see.
Health standards of living.
Yeah.
By
It
improving these, we can improve.
Yeah, nice, very nice. See, it means you have to give any suggestions for the examiners that yes, this can be done. Now see, when I have talked about suggestion, so there is a one more term I have told yesterday. I think way forward. So tell me what is the difference between way forward and conclusion? Way forward and conclusion. What should be written in way forward or conclusion? Are these both are same or then tell me.
I
Don't know. See, way forward is definitely suggestion. Suppose that you have written there are various reasons for the poverty, like this and that, and there are various challenges. Then you will write the way forward. Whether question has asked or not, but you have definitely write the. See, if you have written challenges in your body part, then you have to definitely write way forward. Why? Tell me why.
Using challenges now, we have to show the solutions to overcome.
Because see, you are going to become an IAS officer. So you are going in the system with the solution, not with the challenges. So whether question has asked or not about the solution, but you have to definitely write the way forward as a solution. Please, man.
For which questions? Challenges.
If the question has asked about the challenges, then you have to definitely write the way forward. Definitely. Yes. Please mind that. Now the question is, if you have written the way forward in that questions, So is it compulsory to write the conclusion then?
Way forward question in the
If you have already written the way forward in a particular question, so is it compulsory to write way forward
Conclusion.
a conclusion in the last?
no double time.
No, it is.
You have to write.
Yeah, you have to write the conclusion. Okay, intro, conclusion, it is a must to write in every questions. Do you know why? Tell me the why. Tell me, you think why it is important? Because see, suppose that if you are giving any lecture, so you start from the beginning, like this lecture is about what. So introduction is just introductory part. So differently, if you write any themes, you have to introduce yourself. See, suppose that you are meeting with a new friend, right? So first you will tell your name and you have everything, like I am this and that. So this is called what? Introduction. So in the same way, any questions you have to definitely start with introduction. And what about conclusion? See, at the last what we will do? Okay, thanks, take care, goodbye. So this is called conclusion. Means ki we are giving the suggestive, futuristic, meet again, like that. So see, this is called conclusion. Another the question is what is the difference between way forward and conclusion? Because conclusion is also suggestive and way forward is also suggestion. So what is the difference actually? Tell me. This question can be asked. Yeah, this is very interesting question. This question definitely can be asked. Way forward and conclusion.
एवल्यूशन सही किया भैया, एक बार आप देख लो, मैं
थोड़ा सा
डाउट
इसको कंप्लीट करके देख लेते हैं.
ठीक है.
Which question?
I will check.
I am also there.
Yeah.
I want to there.
ओके.
Way forward and conclusion.
You tell me the difference.
Hmm?
You tell me the difference. I don't know.
Yeah, I will tell. See, way forward means, see, you have to just write the suggestions, right? But in conclusion, you cannot, suppose that there is a question on pollution in Delhi, right? Pollution in Delhi. So you have written the challenges like pollution leads to health problem, this and all everything. Then you have to write the way forward, like technology should be used, smoke tower and everything, like they should be used, people should follow the like environment friendly atmosphere, everything, right? Then what about conclusion? What you have to write in conclusion? In conclusion you have to write like, see, if we follow these guidelines and these measures, then India will become what? Environment friendly country, and the problem which India face in the form of pollution, it will be reduced. So it means in conclusion we have to write the result.
If the way forward is already written.
Yes. If way forward is already written, then we have to write the result in conclusion. Actually, we have to not repeat the same thing in way forward in conclusion. Actually, most of the people get confused here. So this is what I'm telling you. In way forward, because see,
Is not as it is based on like question what we have to do into
yeah. I already told. Yeah, I already told you. See, actually, see, because see, I checked the answer on the basis of 4 parameters. See, if there are 10 marker question, like, so see, if a person has written the intro, then body, then conclusion, then here way forward. So see, if the person, if there is question up 10 markers, okay, and I'm checking the answer. So if the person has written a good intro, so I will give him or her 1 marks, because questions is defined of particular components. Like, see, I have given 1 marks here. If body part is satisfactory, so I will give him 3 to 4 marks maximum. Then conclusion, if he written 1 marks, if it is good. And if he has written way forward also, then he will get 1 marks extra. So see, the one who has not written the way forward, they will get 1, 2, and 2, 3 to 5 to 6 marks. But the one who has written the way forward, they will get 6 to 7 marks, because 1 marks will be included. So always try to write the way forward. But when you have to write the way forward, I've told you. When you have to
Challenges.
challenges. Yes, yes. So see, and more on. In body part, you can increase your marks. How? I have told you, like with
Presentation.
flow chart,
Maps.
presentation, maps,
Survey.
data, है ना, सब headings, examples, headings, and most important things what you have not done, I think, that is underline the keyword. Suppose that here is your answer. Yeah, see, you have written here, but you have not underlined the keyword because there is always a keyword in a particular paragraph. So to write the underline keyword, yes, like that. This is keyword. So that examiner will get easily what you're trying to say. So these are the some important things because there is a marks for every component. If you skip any component, you are going to get less marks. So these are the main. See, maximum in 10 mark question you can get maximum 5 marks, and in 15 mark question you can get maximum 7 to 8 marks because even the topper, I think, if you can take the example of any toppers like Tina Dhabi, so they have got only just 51 to 52% out of the total interview marks and mains marks total, because UPSC does not give more than 50% marks in any questions. Suppose that the question is 20 markers, they will give maximum 10 marks, not more than that. How much better you have written, they don't care about that. See, you have heard the name of JEE Mains, NEET, they give 100 out of 100, but in prelims UPSC cutoff is 95 out of 200 because the question is like that only. So UPSC always gives. So in 10 mark question, if you are getting, see, in 10 mark question, if you are getting 3 marks, that is average. If you are getting 4 marks, that is good, and getting 5 marks, that is excellent. 5 marks is excellent, not more than that. In the same way, 15 mark question, see, it starts with 5 marks. 5 marks is average, 6 marks is good, and 7 to 8 marks is excellent. So these are the marks which are distributed for the candidates. So these are the scheme actually which you need to keep in mind while writing the answer, right? I think you have got what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You have got. So see, when you write the answer, you follow these techniques, right? And your answer will become, see, actually what people do, people first focus 2 to 3 years in the prelims only. When they clear the prelims, they get stuck in the mains, and after 3 or 4 years they understand that how to write a good answer. But you have a good opportunity because you are giving next attempt, right? So you have time. So if you start learning these things from the right now, so you will understand how to write a good answer in the future. And those are the people who clear and who get the good rank in the first attempt, who do from the beginning only. So this is the benefits. If you start these things from the right now, from the beginning only, then you will understand everything. And see, one thing I'm telling you, see, because see, if you are writing a answer like, see, means what you know, so you will keep on writing like that only for the whole 1 year, unless you do not write the real exam of the UPSC. So see, the mistake which you are going to do in the real exam, you should do those mistakes in the here only, mocks and practice, all right? So that you can get familiar with the real exam system and you can improve over there. So this is the benefits. So you can keep on writing like that. I think you have got everything. I have told you everything. Introduction, body part, conclusions, and yes, conclusion. Conclusions should be like, see, yeah, one thing more. 10 marker question generally 150 words, and 15 marker question 250 words, right? Generally, in 10 marker question, see, if you have written 120 words or you have written 170 words, the marks will be same. See, if there is a question on 150 words, suppose that you have to write to 150 words, and you have written 120 words, or you write 170 words, so the marks will be same. But which one will you follow?
120.
120. Why?
Time.
Time saving. So actually this is what people do mistake actually, because see, you people think that if I will write 170 I will get the more marks. Actually it is not, because see, they are not going to count the words one 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 like this is one word, two word. They will understand that yes, it is average 120 word, that is enough.
It means we have to very crisp and clear about answers.
Yeah. See, because actually most of the people, actually some of my friends who actually face this problem, they have written 3 times mains, that they are not able to clear the mains actually. Because of this, they always leave 1 or 2 questions out of 20 questions because of the time management. Because their time management very pure. Because they see, they know 1 or 2 questions very well, so they waste their time in that question only. You have to, yes, you have to give equal weightage for the every questions, because every question contain every equal marks, right? See, so you have to give equal time for every questions. So see, I think this is going to be good. In the same way here, 220 words and 270 words. So I think this will be better. So
Plus 20 minus 20%
yeah,
criteria.
that can work. Means this is 20 to 20 words here. Suppose that there is this is deadline. So here 20 words and here 20 words will work, right? But I think we have to follow this one because it will save our time. So this is because see, yes, and suppose that there is a question on 150 words and you have written 200 words. That is also not good, because this means that you are showing your knowledge to the examiner what they have not asked, right? What they have not asked. So they will take it as ego. So please follow that.
It is called never
Yeah.
work.
So you have to write what is required. You have to write what is asked, not what is not asked. So please mind that
One
thing.
thing which I heard from my mentor is he says that in conclusion, we never have to conclude any answer.
Bro, how many times I have said to you? No, like, complaints are coming in.
Yeah, we are just living. What were you saying?
What is the problem with?
I don't know.
He says that in conclusion we don't have to conclude any answer, but there is a only way forward.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to conclude ever.
Right. Because there's always scope for. Okay. We can go downside. I think voice goes upside. Okay. So I think these are the things which we have then discussed. And anything more?
Show your answer.
Yeah, you can show your answer. Yeah.